Welcome to the January edition of This Month in Payroll for 2025. I'm Emma Linnenbank, a partner in PwC's Payroll Advisory and Operations practice, stepping in for Rowan and Claire to kick off what is sure to be another exciting year in payroll. This month, we will explore some recent Fair Work Commission decisions, learnings for everyone from the Fair Work Ombudsman's enforceable undertakings in the university sector, and new resources which are available on the Fair Work Ombudsman's website. Let's start with a recent decision by a full bench of the Fair Work Commission, which has found that an employee had the right to claim both primary and non-primary parental leave. This ruling is expected to influence future employment agreements and supporting policies, prompting employers to explicitly define eligibility to parental leave entitlements, which will accommodate the dynamic nature of caregiving roles and prevent similar claims. This case involved a Queensland-based teacher who sought to take 5 days of paid parental leave as a non-primary caregiver at the birth of his child, followed by an additional 11 weeks when he later became the primary caregiver. Upon his employer rejecting his application for the secondary period of leave on the basis that they deemed the entitlements were mutually exclusive, the Independent Education Union challenged that interpretation with the Fair Work Commission. While Commissioner Chris Simpson initially found in favour of the employer in denying the teacher's claim, it was subsequently reversed with the bench finding that caregiver status is not fixed and can change over time, allowing for eligibility for both types of leave. The decision also determined that the Parental Leave Pay Act does not prevent an employee from receiving both dad and partner pay and parental leave pay at different times, provided they do not overlap. Moving on now to multi-employer agreements brought in under the Secure Jobs Better Pay Act. Justice Hatcher has spoken previously about the low take-up of these. Well, last month, the Fair Work Commission approved its first multi-employer supported bargaining agreement, affecting over 60 employers in the early childhood education and care sector, following a joint application of 3 unions: the United Workers Union, Australian Education Union, and the Independent Education Union. The Fair Work Commission found that the application met prerequisites such as low prevailing pay rates, with nearly 60% of workers receiving award rates and an additional 20% receiving a premium of up to 10%. This agreement aims to improve pay rates in the predominantly female workforce and address what is seen as low uptake of bargaining in the sector. Workers voted to approve the deal following the government's announcement of a $3.6 billion funding package to support the pay rise. In order to qualify for the funding, employers must have a workplace instrument in place that provides employees with enforceable remuneration rights. It is anticipated that a number of additional employers will also join the multi-employer agreement. The Early Childhood Education and Care Multi-Employer Agreement will operate from December 17, 2024 and nominally expire on November 30, 2026. Looking now to modern awards, the Fair Work Commission has introduced updates to several, focusing on introductory or entry-level classifications and impacting how those classifications and pay rates are applied. For the majority of awards impacted, which you can see on screen, the new rules are effective from the 1st of January 2025. However, for the Horticulture Award, the implementation date will be the 1st of April 2025. These changes are off the back of a Fair Work Commission full bench review into C14 and C13 classifications. The review found that the lowest pay classification in modern awards will be the C13 classification rate, and that any rates below that, such as the C14 classification rate, must be used as an entry-level rate for no more than 6 months and must provide a clear transition to the C13 rate or higher. As such, the changes which will take effect include the application of time limits for introductory classifications. Entry-level roles with classifications like C14 will now have a maximum time cap of 6 months. However, employees can progress to the next classification level sooner by demonstrating required skills or achieving necessary qualifications. Additionally, updated minimum pay rates and progression rules will apply to these classifications. Employees who exceed the new time cap must advance to the next classification, resulting in potential pay increases and updated payroll obligations for employers. Employers should ensure they have appropriate reporting and payroll controls in place to manage compliance in relation to this change. Next, further to our update in November's edition of This Month in Payroll, the Fair Work Commission has implemented changes to several awards as part of its aged care work value case, which took effect from the first full pay period starting on or after the 1st of January 2025. These changes impact the Aged Care Award, the Social, Community, Home Care and Disability Services Award, also known as the SHADS Award, and the Nurses Award. Given the changes consider award coverage, classification structures, and minimum pay rates, employers should carefully review their impacted employee populations to ensure compliance post-January 1st. The key changes that employers should review and consider are: 1. That the Aged Care Award now includes a definition of direct care employees and introduces a new classification structure for direct care workers. Nursing assistants in residential care settings, who were previously covered by the Nurses Award, are now under the Aged Care Award. The updated classification schedule provides tables to help identify new classifications for direct care employees and nursing assistants. 2. From the 1st of January 2025, eligible employees in the aged care sector will see an increase in their minimum pay rates. The increase varies depending on the award and classification. General care workers under the Aged Care Award receive a 3% increase, while direct care workers, including those previously under the Nurses Award, will have their pay rate increases applied based on the size of the increase. Some employees will receive a second increase on the 1st of October 2025. 3. In the SHADS Award, home care worker classifications are now divided into 2 streams, with a new classification schedule added. This includes reclassification for direct care employees covered by the Aged Care Award and nursing assistants previously covered by the Nurses Award. The existing home care stream has also been renamed Home Care Employees Disability Care. And finally, 4. From the 1st of January, nursing assistants performing aged care work are covered by either the Aged Care Award or the SHADS Award, depending on their employer's industry and the nature of their work. It is worth noting that both awards maintain the more generous annual leave entitlement from the Nurses Award for those covered as of the 31st of December 2024. And now, on to the Fair Work Ombudsman's finalised enforceable undertakings in December 2024 with the University of Sydney and the University of Melbourne. Fair Work Ombudsman Anna Booth said that the commitments secured under the enforceable undertakings would help to drive cultural change across the universities as well as the wider universities sector. The Fair Work Ombudsman has previously spoken about her governance concerns regarding employers in the higher education space. These concerns were referenced again in this enforceable undertaking, as the Fair Work Ombudsman pointed to governance failures. However, the Fair Work Ombudsman also noted that both universities had responded by putting into place corrective measures regarding the remediation and also ongoing compliance for the future. While the enforceable undertakings issued both related to the higher education sector, the Fair Work Ombudsman Anna Booth remarked that this enforceable undertaking provides an example for the sector and large employers generally on what it means to turn practices around with long-term commitment to embedding work voice mechanisms to respond to feedback and meeting all workers' legal entitlements. Both the universities have agreed to several key messages to address compliance with workplace laws, including correcting past underpayments with oversight from the Fair Work Ombudsman, implementing new systems to improve payroll and compliance processes, reviewing casual academic employment to fix any pay issues with regular updates to regulators, training staff on employee entitlements and compliance, enhancing communication between employees and management to strengthen worker representation, reporting any legal breaches to the Fair Work Ombudsman and internal committees, establishing committees to focus on compliance and centralise wage oversight, sharing insights and discussing compliance in sector-wide forums, and finally, providing clear ways for employees to ask about their pay and rights. These measures follow a very similar theme to those raised by the Fair Work Ombudsman in last year's annual report regarding practices that the Fair Work Ombudsman expects employers to take to proactively identify and address wage underpayments. With the exception of the casual academic matter, which is largely limited to the higher education sector, the rest of these measures form the foundation of an excellent checklist that each employer should follow to ensure the accuracy of their payrolls. Education is another key role of the Fair Work Ombudsman, who run webinars and employer advisory service hotlines for employers to assist them in understanding and applying workplace laws. Last month, the Fair Work Ombudsman updated its website to include a section designed to assist workplace relations professionals. This very comprehensive subpage offers a number of online tools and resources, including calculators for pay, shifts, leave, and redundancies, templates on topics such as leave, casual conversion, and performance management, and a Find My Award tool. It also includes best practice guides dealing with various workplace issues, free courses covering skills and strategies to help employers at work, and fact sheets summarising topics such as minimum rights, employer responsibilities, and entitlements. By consolidating all of these key links to tools, guides, and the library in one location, the Fair Work Ombudsman is providing an increased level of support to workplace relations professionals who will benefit from having a one-stop shop for reference points. The link to the new website is on your screen. Finally, we want to draw employers' attention to a recent change in payroll tax in Victoria. As multi-year wage remediations have been disclosed over the last few years, one of the questions has been to consider how the statute of limitations applies to payroll tax on the wage underpayment. To date, it seems to have been settled that, where an employer discloses a remediation, the need to amend prior year payroll tax returns was limited to the last 5 financial years outside of specific circumstances, such as tax avoidance. However, new legislation introduced in Victoria will now change that. The State Taxation Further Amendment Act 2024 introduces changes in relation to Victoria's Payroll Tax Act, effective from the 3rd of December 2024, which will allow the Commissioner to reassess payroll tax beyond the usual 5-year statute of limitation period if underpaid wages are found. This change means authorities can now recover unpaid payroll tax even after 5 years. Employers operating with employees based in Victoria who are in the process of disclosing a wage underpayment may now need to account for the need to amend payroll tax returns for a greater period of time, leading to greater interest charges and potential penalties. At this stage, Victoria is alone in looking beyond its statute of limitations. However, we are now watching this space to monitor whether other states will follow suit. Before we close, a note about our first Workforce Leaders Forum for 2025, which will explore the increased focus on long service leave compliance from state regulators. On Tuesday, the 11th of March, we will be joined by 2 of the regulators who are seeing increased activity in this space: the Commissioner of Wage Inspectorate of Victoria and the Director of the New South Wales Industrial Relations Inspectorate, to share the Victorian and the New South Wales regulators' reflections resulting from their recent inquiries and enforcement actions. We will also discuss the current long service leave landscape across the country, including actions employers should take to proactively monitor and safeguard their compliance. You can register for this event using the link on your screen. And that's it for our January edition of This Month in Payroll. If you would like to revisit any prior updates, they are available on our website at pwc.com.au/payroll. And if you have any questions or need for support, please reach out to myself or your usual PwC contact. Until next time, have a great month in payroll.